What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for part 2 of the Battle of Naboo. At first glance, this probably looks like utter chaos, but I guess that's a good thing in this instance because this is a battle, and there is a method to my madness here, and I'll show you guys that in a second. What this mock is depicting is the Gungan retreat. Once their shield generator on the Famba was blown up, the Jar Jar Binks called in the order, and they are hightailing it out there with the droid army hot on their heels, and that's kind of why you see most of the droid bodies kind of up this way, because the Gungan army is slowly retreating back that way, and then the droids are following them. For the most part, a lot of this stuff is just what I made up and kind of my interpretation of what's going on in the battle. However, we do have a few things that are seen in the movie. First off, up here you can see there's a small squad of Gungans that has been surrounded and forced to surrender. This is happening throughout the battlefield as different parts of the Gungan army were in different areas, and some were able to retreat and some unfortunately were not. We've got another batch of surrendering Gungans. These Gungans were trying to protect an abandoned catapult, but eventually their forces got overrun. Over here we can see one of these large Boombas came rolling through and just annihilated part of a squad of droids. And throughout the battle you're going to see a lot of dead droids with spears in them from ferocious Gungans launching them from a distance. We got another one over there. Once you get further back, we start to see some Gungan resistance. These Gungans right here have not decided to retreat or surrender yet. They are putting up fierce resistance against this squad of droids. There is an AAT on the way to reinforce them. However, it's having a hard time handling Jar Jar Binks. This is one of the parts from the movie that I decided to include in this scene. This is when Jar Jar Binks is kind of, I don't want to say stuck, but he jumps on to this AAT. He's clinging to the barrel right here, and then we've got his buddy Captain Tarples right here about to throw him a Boomba, in which he uses to disable the driver of the tank. Over here on this side we've got more Gungan resistance. This small squad has regrouped behind the wreckage of an annihilated catapult, and they're putting up fierce resistance. They've got this squad well under control. However, there are reinforcements behind them coming up, so they're going to have to start retreating soon. And then in the back here we have the bulk of the Gungan army just beating a hasty retreat, trying to get out of there. This guy supposed to be running up to help his buddies, but for the most part a lot of the Gungans are just trying to peace out as fast as they can. Even the great Famba beast is lumbering out of there as fast as it can. The shield generator's gone, having been blown up by the droid forces. And then we have what's left of the cavalry beating a hasty retreat. One guy decided to stick around right here, try and help to fend off these droids, but unfortunately their attempts will be futile as the droids will eventually overrun them. I tried my best to keep this as organized as possible. That's why you see small skirmishes everywhere, because this is how I imagined and interpreted this battle. You know, there's such a large army leaving that different portions are in different areas, and the droids kind of split up into smaller groups to stay organized and to be able to handle each area of the battlefield. So there it is, guys. Part 2 of the Battle of Naboo finale. This one is not as impressive as last week's, but I must say it was pretty fun to build, and I do think it still looks pretty freaking cool. This video marks the official end of the Naboo series. It's bittersweet. I am sad to be done with this awesome mock, but I'm also very happy to not have to look at green bricks or Gungan warriors for a little bit. It'll be nice to move on to bigger and better projects. I personally think that part 1 was better than this one, but that's just because part 1 was a more iconic scene, and this part 2 was a little more chaotic and not as beautiful, but I still do think it turned out pretty good. If you guys like this video, don't forget to leave me a like, and don't forget to comment down below. You guys have been great at supporting this whole series, and I really appreciate that. I also just passed 300 subscribers, and I'm super grateful for you guys. Your support has been awesome, and I'll make a official 300 subscriber special video next week. If any of you are watching for the first time, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content. But until next time, happy building.